Good morning. Welcome here in the sanctuary, and welcome online to the Unitarian Universalist Church of St. Petersburg's Sunday service. We are on land stolen from the Tocobaga and Seminole indigenous people. My name is Ben, my pronouns are he and they, and I am excited to bring you today's worship service. It's called Discomfort, Designed as Danger. And in addition to our amazing music coordinator, Liam, bringing that particular prelude from that 20th century composer, we're going to have two more parts to that partita. And Liam and I chose it, I think, because it is not always comfortable, like much 20th century music. But it is, I think, beautiful if you hang in through the discomfort. We also have a singing group that's going to join us, and I get to work with today's worship associate, Ariana.
Thanks, Ben. My name's Ariana, and my pronouns are she, her. If you want a church where we believe that acknowledging and confronting our discomfort is how we grow personally and spiritually, and that people aren't inherently dangerous just because of the color of their skin, the country they come from, or their gender identity, you may have found your church home.
Thanks, Ariana. We do love children. We have children here. We welcome children. There's the option to go to your classes when we sing a song in a few minutes, but they can also stay here if that's easier. We have three announcements today, and the first is Emma's Revolution is coming back to UU St. Pete. Those of you who are familiar with this Unitarian Universalist supergroup of sorts, they were here performing in 2022. They'll be back on September 13th, and tickets are on sale after the worship service right over there in Gilmore Hall.
Next month, we will bring back our fourth Sunday racial justice educational services, and we start with on September 28th, we have Justin Cornoyer from Reimagine I-175 coming to talk to us about what we can do with I-175 because it divides our city. And he will be speaking to us, and then followed by that, Josette Green will be meeting us over at Campbell Park to go up to the walkway above 175 to show us what it looks like and really how that divides our city. So we invite everybody to attend. We're really excited, and this will be open to the community as well.
Thank you. Finally, from noon to 2 today, there's going to be an active shooter training right here in the sanctuary. Officer Chip Wales will be leading the training, and all are welcome.
Please read the rest of your announcements in the order of service in our monthly newsletter and on the TV in Gilmore Hall during coffee hour.
Now, I'm excited to see some new folks, so I will let you all know and remind everyone else that as Unitarian Universalists, we are a people of diverse beliefs, but we do share a common faith that every being is worthy of love, that what we do in this world matters, and that we are connected. We're connected to one another. We are connected to the earth. So, whoever you are and wherever you are in your journey, you are welcome here.
Allow me to give a special welcome to any newcomers. If you are new to UU St. Pete, or even relatively new, can you give a wave? If you'd like, please briefly introduce yourself. Reverend Ben will bring the microphone to you so those on YouTube can hear what you're saying. You're under no obligation to say anything. If you're willing, we'd love to hear from you, but if not, that is okay too.
Okay, I see a hand.
Hi, thank you. My name is Kay Weiser. Closer. Okay. My name is Kay Weiser. I'm almost 4 weeks here as a new person from Philadelphia. I'm 18-year-old member, 18 years at the Unitarian Society of Germantown. So this is my first time here, obviously, and I'm really wanting to find my peeps.
So glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. It was for new to hear.
Oh, okay.
You want? Okay.
Thank you. My name is Kristen Northup. I am new to this service, but not St. Pete.
Thank you for sharing, and thank you for silencing your cell phones. Regarding masks, we encourage you to wear one as you are comfortable. Now is the time for us to turn and greet our neighbors. Say hello to someone new today, and please remember to get consent if you're going to hug or shake hands.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Now that you've all sat down, please rise as you're willing and able for our first hymn. It's With Heart and Mind, number 300 in the gray hymnal. New folks, there should be gray hymnals in front of you. Standing for our chalice lighting. Thank you, Deb Pierce, for volunteering to light our chalice. Now, this chalice is a reminder that we are choosing to focus here for this time and that we believe such time is sacred. I invite you to say our covenant out loud. That can be found in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this church and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. You may be seated.
We come to the time in our worship service for joys, sorrows, and concerns. Those of you on YouTube Live are not in this room, but your presence is still felt. Please type your joys and sorrows into the text chat. If you have a joy, sorrow, or concern to submit during the week, please write to Reverend Ben at minister@uustpete.org.
I want to thank Rebecca Wilson for placing a stone in the water for each joy, sorrow, and concern that was submitted this week. Playing the role of Rebecca Wilson is Karen. No, it's Karen's. Karen's doing the thing that you could be doing, which is handing up there's still time to hand up your joys, sorrows, and your concerns. If you can't bring it up, you can ask a neighbor to bring it up for you.
Our first stone of concern is from Deb Pierce. She says, I am worried the MAGA movement will attempt to erase the rainbows from the skies. But alas, they will fail in this and every other immoral, inhuman endeavor they undertake as long as we sit together at UU in peace. That's
right. And each week we appreciate someone or some group for the work that they have done to accomplish our mission. And this week we have 2 stones of joy, and one is for you, Deb Pierce, and the other is for Earl Waters, who I haven't seen today. But they traveled to, it's called Alligator Alcatraz sometimes, but it's actually the Dade Collier Training and Transition Airport. They traveled there with our banner to protest this place. Thank you for representing us there, Deb.
A stone of joy and gratitude for the president of our Unitarian Universalist Association, Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt. Another stone for our UUA staff and leaders, especially the staff from the UUA Southern Region office.
And one of you asked why I'm doing this stone now. So during a couple of my recent study leaves, I went to a lot of churches that have a similar practice, and I thought it was a good one. So that's why.
A stone of sorrow from Sandra Lewis. She says, we had an incident in the parking lot during the last sunset supper on Friday. It was between 2 of our guests, and I happened to be in the middle of it. I refer to it as sadness because one of the guests couldn't control himself and the other couldn't defend himself. He was in a wheelchair. I chose to support the one who couldn't defend himself.
And a stone of concern this morning from John Motter. He's in the hospital for an infection. Now, I talked to him for a while this morning. He says he would welcome our prayers, our well wishes, and our phone calls.
And Ruth Bentley is fine. She is at home, and somebody is home with her, so she is good. A stone of joy from Karen Cole. Our grandson David graduated from USF this month. Yay.
Hey. Yay, Gabe.
And last celebrated 57th wedding anniversary. Time flies when you are having a good time. Thank you all for being a part of our lives.
Oh, happy anniversary. Let's place one more stone. That's for those joys, those sorrows, those concerns that remain in our hearts, and sometimes they're too tender to be spoken out loud.
It's now time for our responsive reading. The words can be found in your order of service. May our hearts not be calloused by the never-ending incidences of oppression and hatred that so many face each day. Rather, may we keep our hearts
open
to the
positive efforts
of so many people causing good trouble in the world.
May we have the strength to demand and gain the right for all people to have a safe place to sleep, health care to keep them strong, and the knowledge that their lives matter. The struggle is taking longer than it should, but we will get there if we continue to strive for basic human rights. Those words, as most of you know, are by John Motter, and John is watching on YouTube Live right now. We love you, John. We're thinking of you. May all of us find a comforting and a compassionate presence in the warmth of fellowship and community. The mystery is that we're connected even when we feel apart. So let's rejoice in the beloved community that makes of the many one, and let's take about a minute of silence together.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
The following reading is called Black Women Worry More by Reverend Dr. Rosemary Bray McNatt. He phoned more than an hour ago to say he was on his way home, but I have yet to hear the scrape of the iron gate, the rattling keys, so I worry. Most married women fret about a tardy husband. Black women like myself worry more. I fear white men in police uniforms, white teenagers driving by, thin, panicky, middle-aged white men on the subway. Most of all, I fear that their path and my husband's path will cross one night as he makes his way home. Bub is tall, dark, with thick hair and wide-rimmed glasses. He carries a knapsack stuffed with work from the office, old crossword puzzles, Philip Glass music, Ebony Knit Man and People magazines. He cracks his knuckles a lot and wears a peculiar grimace when his mind is elsewhere. He looks dear and gentle to me, but then I have looked into those eyes for a long time. I worry that some white person will see that grim, focused look of concentration and see the intent to victimize. I fear that some white person will look at him and see only their nightmare, another black man in sneakers. In fact, my husband is another black man in sneakers. He's also a writer, an amateur cyclist, a lousy basketball player, his parents' son, my life companion. When I peek out the window, those visions in my head are those of blind white panic at my husband's black presence. I see myself a sudden horrified widow. Once upon a time, I was vaguely ashamed of my paranoia about his safety in the world outside our home. After all, he's a grown man. But he's a grown black man on the streets alone, a menace to white people, even the nice, sympathetic liberal ones who smile at us when we're together. And I'm reminded over and over how dangerous white people can still be, how their fears are a hazard to our health. When white people are ruled by their fears of everything black, every black woman is an addict, a whore, every black man is a rapist, even a murderer. So when it's 10 o'clock and he's not home yet, my thoughts can't help but to wander to other black men. Husbands, fathers, sons, brothers, who never make it home. Even after I hear the scrape of our iron gate, the key in the lock, even after I hear the old knapsack hit the floor of the downstairs hallway and Bob's voice calling to me, my thoughts return to them. I chose this reading because it really resonates with me. I live with my closest friend, Patrick, and those of you who have met him know he's smart and funny and kind and a great chef. During our hurricane evacuation to church last year, he did wonders with some very random ingredients to fix us dinner. But to the world, he's a large black man who often looks angry because his contemplative nature means he's often lost in thought and not smiling. The world sees sometimes someone that might be aggressive because he speaks up for himself and others despite the risk. We have a rule in our house that if he is not coming straight home after work, I better get a call or a text so that I don't need to worry something happened to him. He knows that my brand of ADHD means he has about a 30-minute window before I spiral to worst-case scenario. I worry about all the things that Rosemary Bray McNatt worries about for her husband. We live in a world where the things that make us uncomfortable are branded as dangerous because that makes us feel better about ourselves and look better to others. But branding our discomfort as danger to save face puts those people in actual danger. If I admit that Black men make me uncomfortable just for existing, then I would have to admit that there's a part of me that has racist thoughts. But if they're dangerous, well, then I'm protecting myself. But perpetuating the belief that Black men are dangerous puts Black men in real danger every day. If I admit that trans people make me uncomfortable, then I have to admit that transphobia lives within me. But if gender-affirming care is dangerous, well, then I'm just protecting our children. But denying our trans youth the care that they need is part of the reason why they are at higher risk of committing suicide than their peers. If I admit that immigrants make me uncomfortable just for being here, I have to admit that part of me is xenophobic. But if immigrants are dangerous criminals, well, then I'm just protecting my community. And we all know the danger that immigrants in this country are facing every day right now because of that belief. But here's the thing. The truth is we all live with these thoughts. They are ingrained in us and reinforced from the moment that we are born. They are a part of the fabric this country was built on, but it's time for the majority to allow themselves to be uncomfortable because minorities have been uncomfortable our whole lives. We need to embrace the discomfort, acknowledge it, examine why we feel it, and confront the inaccuracies of it. We must get to a place where we can admit that what we feel is discomfort, not danger, because only then can we begin to make true sustainable change. Change towards a society where maybe, just maybe, Black women won't need to worry more. Thank you.
Love knocks and waits for us to hear, to hope and act in fight. Love longs to quiet every fear and seeks to set things right. Love offers life in spite of foes who threaten and condemn. Embracing enemies, love goes the second mile with them. Love comes to heal the broken heart, to ease the troubled mind. Without a word, love bids us start to ask and seek and find. Love knocks and enters at the sound of welcome from within. Love sings and dances all around and here's new life begin.
Thank you, Ellen. Thanks, Deb. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Liam. Surprised you with the organ, didn't it? Saw some of you. Thank you, Ariana. Thank you so much. I agree with you. Patrick is a great chef. With very few things. Patrick is funny. Patrick is smart. Patrick is kind. It was a pleasure getting to know him, and I hope to have many more opportunities to be together. But hearing you worry about his safety like that in such an emotional way, and hearing Reverend Dr. Rosemary Bray McNatt worry about her husband's safety, that makes me uncomfortable. I would rather not think about it. There's so much on my mind these days. There's so much to worry about. I'd rather not worry about that. But you taught us today, and you've taught us before, if white Unitarian Universalists prioritize our comfort and don't think about white supremacy, Black and BIPOC people are less safe. Remember, BIPOC means Black, Indigenous people of color. And white Unitarian Universalists should not embrace that discomfort because it is the right thing to do, or not because we're feeling charitable. White UUs should do this because you're part of us, Ariana, and we are part of you. In his book, God of the Oppressed, Black theologian James Cone said that Christians join the cause of the oppressed in the fight for justice, not because of some philosophical principle of the good, or because of a religious feeling of sympathy with people in prison. Sympathy does not change the structures of injustice, Cone says. The authentic identity of Christians with the poor is found in the claim which the Jesus encounter lays upon their own lifestyle, a claim that connects the word Christian with the liberation of the poor. Christians, Cone says, fight not for humanity in general, but for themselves and out of their love for concrete human beings. Now, many of us here are not Christians, but I chose Reverend Cone's words because I feel that they're consistent with UU theology and practice. UUs also fight not for humanity in general, but for themselves, out of love for concrete human beings. Earl and Deb protested Alligator Alcatraz out of love for the concrete human beings that are imprisoned there, humans that others label illegal. Here at UU St. Pete, we center the voices and leadership of trans and non-binary people, concrete human beings, like Danny, like Mimi, like Aaron, and many others. We work to end white supremacy out of love for concrete human beings, like Ariana and like Patrick, like Bianca and Ben, like Sandra, and many others. When Ariana first proposed this worship service, discomfort disguised as danger, I think my words were, "You mean like white women tears?" And for those of you who don't know, white women tears have been discussed a lot in BIPOC communities as something that can be weaponized. So the classic example is a well-meaning white woman being challenged on issues of racial privilege in a group setting. The white woman in question reacts with shock and surprise, tells the group her intentions were good, and her tears refocus the group on comforting and reassuring her that she is a good person. Now, I think it's fine to comfort any crying person. It's generally a good thing to do, but if we do it then, if we allow the conversation to derail, and it's a conversation about actual danger, I think that increases the danger. We can't prioritize her discomfort over the danger. We mentioned Karen earlier today, and a few years ago, your name was associated with white women calling the manager, calling authorities about Black and BIPOC people doing dastardly deeds like having picnics or playing music. And we all know and love Karen Cole. We love her name. Shouldn't we protest Karen's name being stereotype? Hashtag not all Karens. Again, it derails the conversation, and Karen is probably uncomfortable about her name being associated with white fragility. I think other Karens are as well, but it doesn't put her in danger. White people calling the police on black people does. Many UUs, many white Unitarian Universalists consider racism to be about fire hoses and burning crosses. But BIPOC UUs like Ariana have told us racism is not just about that. Racism is about microaggressions. It's about weaponizing white tears. It's about being honest regarding black and BIPOC experiences in progressive spaces, including UU spaces. And whites like me prioritizing my own discomfort over learning about real danger, that's damaging on an individual level. But when white people organize this kind of a focus into a movement, the damage is much greater. Some of you know in the spring of 2017, 3 UU religious educators of color led an unprecedented dialogue across our denomination on how white supremacy was present even in spaces considered progressive and liberal. Aisha Hauser, Christina Rivera, and Kenny Wiley began this movement that resulted in hundreds of UU congregations participating in the white supremacy teach-in. I think you all did it here. It was before I got here, but I think there was a white supremacy teach-in here at UU St. Pete. And many white UUs listened. Many white UUs embraced the challenges presented by Hauser, Rivera, and Wiley, and other BIPOC UUs. And other white UUs reacted with defensiveness. My beloved denomination is not a white supremacist organization. We have a history of civil rights activism. Many of our leaders are BIPOC, which is kind of like the I have a black friend defense. And some of these white UUs formed a movement called the Gadfly movement. These white UUs and a few BIPOC UUs who agree with them say that this much focus on ending white supremacy amounts to a binding creed of anti-racism, which goes against our UU history of religious freedom. The Gadflies run candidates for the Unitarian Universalist Association Board of Directors. They sometimes send articles to all the congregations that are disguised as official statements from the UUA. We ran one of those articles by mistake a few years ago in our newsletter, which then was a weekly newsletter. They claim that the focus on anti-racism could spell the end of our denomination as we know it. Discomfort disguised as danger. Reverend Sarah Scotchko says the Gadfly movement didn't invent a new ideology or put forward any new ideas. It just echoed some pretty racist and hateful statements that had been brewing in Unitarian Universalism for a long time. So it resonated with a small minority of our people, mostly white men. Scotchko says, much as the radical right was emboldened by the election of Donald Trump. According to the Gadflies, she says, the real problem in our denomination isn't racism. The real problem is them being called racist, or being called out on anything, or being asked not to hurt people. And they've been pretty successful, she says, at framing themselves as either victims of an inquisition or as valiant heretics fighting for free speech. According to the Gadflies, they're the ones who are really being oppressed by all this political correctness. They use words like witch hunt and cancel culture and orthodoxy and talk about reclaiming Unitarian Universalism. So white UUs like me have a choice. On the one hand, we can focus on our own discomfort, claim our intentions are good, even join this organized movement, the Gadfly movement, and center ourselves even more. We can nostalgically look back on our church, on our denomination, on our country as it used to be, without so much talk about white supremacy. Ariana said we all have these thoughts. Or, and this is big, or we can embrace the evolution of our denomination. We can learn about our 7 values, embody them, and put them into action. We can act on the basis of our love and connection with Ariana, with other concrete people who are an essential part of our community and our leadership. We can join the racial justice team, go on this event in September, take the class that they offer multiple times each year. We can listen when Ariana and others tell us about their lived experience here at UU St. Pete, about being mistaken for the cleaner, about being asked if they were new over and over again after having attended for a year, about being asked if they were related to other black people who happened to be attending that day. And we can listen when they tell us this is not a bug, this is a feature. It's not an exception, it's the rule. It's not one bad apple, it's a repeated experience that happens over and over and over. Yes, even here in our beloved progressive church. And now again, I'm uncomfortable. Hearing this makes me uncomfortable. But I'm willing to sit with that discomfort and focus instead on the real danger of white supremacy. So let us respect and listen to our leaders, like Ariana. Let's look past our own discomfort in order to hear the very real danger for concrete people like Patrick. Let's move beyond our discomfort at using they, them pronouns in order to hear about the real danger for people like Danny, Mimi, and Aaron, and others. Ariana said we live in a world where the things that make us uncomfortable are branded as dangerous because that makes us feel better about ourselves and look better to others. She said branding our discomfort as danger to save face puts those people in actual danger. Let us move beyond our discomfort. A lot of people are uncomfortable about the new Cracker Barrel logo this week, of all the things to be bothered by. Let's move to beyond that and listen to the real danger created by a white, wistful nostalgia for an era that included Jim Crow laws. Let's move beyond our discomfort at seeing rainbow street art in order to see the danger of homophobic violence at the Pulse nightclub and so many other places. If we feel afraid when we see a man like Patrick, let's look beyond our fear. Instead, let's lean into our values of justice, of interdependence, of love. Let's open our hearts to Patrick, to one another, to the world. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be.
In our world, many voices are silenced. Many truths remain unspoken because the speaker fears rejection, judgment, or worse. Our financial offerings today help us sustain this congregation as a place where all voices can be heard, where truth can be spoken without fear, where vulnerability is met with compassion. We give in gratitude for this beloved community and with the hope for a world where more voices can speak their truth.
We're also collecting food today for our congregation's refugee family. This family came to St. Pete as Congolese refugees via a United Nations refugee camp in Uganda. We met them in January 2016. They're self-supporting, but can use an extra hand occasionally, which we're doing today via this food collection. Please put your donations in one of the wagons. Is there one in the back and one in the front? I see the one in the front. There's one midway and one in the front. Please put your donations there. And here in the sanctuary, the offering will now be given and received.
I said it to Rebecca beforehand. I was like, I told her beforehand. I was like, if I can get her through her reading it, I know my reading was fine. I was like, but it's
Right at the very end, yeah.
it was that moment every time. Like every time I practice it, it was that very last paragraph.
Well, it makes it more effective, I think. It's not fun for you, but that which is given in love is received with great joy. Thank you.
Now please rise as you're willing and able for our closing hymn, number 1008 in the teal hymnal, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words.
3, 4.
Then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place.
Good harmonies.
We are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place. When we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our hearts stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith. Then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place.
You may be seated.
Today's closing words are from author Byron Katie. When you realize that suffering and discomfort are the call to inquiry, you may actually begin to look forward to uncomfortable feelings. You may even experience them as friends, coming to show you what you have not yet investigated thoroughly enough.
Yeah.
Now please remain seated as Liam plays our postlude.
Liam Dunn, playing partita number 5 by Miroslav Skorik.
We invite you to follow along with the hand gestures, light of truth, warmth of love, and fire of courage. As P. Ellum extinguishes our chalice, the words to UUSP's traditional chalice extinguishing are in your order of service and online in the text chat. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of love, or the fire of courage. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world.
Our worship is over, but our service begins. Please join us for coffee hour in Gilmore Hall. Please buy tickets for the Emma's Revolution concert. And we hope this time together will help you through your week. We'll help you remember you are not alone. Blessings, friends.